Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. The book haul videos continue, and I just realized, as the previous one on gardening books is uploading, that I forgot to mention the channels. Now, they're always listed in the description box and or the title of the video. I forgot to mention the hashtags and the hosts of those hashtags that I typically link. First being Thrifty Canucks, which is hosted by Kim Newberg, a buddy of mine, and Thrifted Treasures, which is hosted by Dale. Now, we've never met, but I feel like we're buddies. And that's Dale at Not Too Shabby Chic. And finally, Thrifty Thursday, hosted by Sheree from Turquoise Dreaming. So those are the default hashtags that I use for any of my thrift haul videos. And I'm just sorry that I forgot to say that last time. Anyway, let us continue. This will be a mixed bag of genres and types and authors and so on. So I, of course, being a farm wife, farm kid from Alberta, I gravitate to things with the farm, with farming in the title. Now this one is called This Old Farm, A Treasury of Farm Family Memories, forward by Roger Welsh. This book is 11 by 8.5, soft cover, and quick, and I always start at the back just because it's easier, it seems that way, to flip through. This would be typical of a sunset that we would see. You know, absolutely gorgeous colors. I think Montana claims to be big sky country. Well, Alberta is every bit the same. I've forgotten the number of actual days of sunlight in Alberta, but it's right up there. I should keep that bit of trivia at the tip of my tongue. So you can see that these are illustrations. Okay, so this one with the John Deere manure spreader. Is a watercolor. There are black and white photos, color photos. So most of these kinds of images resonate with me, even if, you know, I'm not old enough to remember things like that. The pages have a bit of gloss to them, and I'm just wondering, there seems to be a lot of John Deere imagery in here, so maybe they had a hand with getting this book published. And that is the line of machinery that we use, so it's right up my alley. I don't know if you saw the video unboxing I did of the the extraordinary package that Carol from Crinkled Path sent me. But in there was an embossed book, a John Deere book, and I've decided that oh, look at those, a basket full of eggs. I've decided that would be the cover of the next farm journal that I do. If you are new to the channel, and I think many of you are, oh, that reminds me, I wanted to do a shout out to some recent subscribers. Now, I don't know how I can do this without, you know, missing somebody or saying somebody twice and somebody not at all. But I did want to kind of do a shout out. These names all kind of appeared, and I'm just using first names or channel names. These names sort of appeared in those dying days before the 1,000 subscriber mark. Oh, and I realize that I'm doing this with a bit of risk. If you are of a certain vintage, you may remember Romper Room. That was a TV show for kids, probably, I guess, preschoolers, and of course the teacher, and I think the teacher changed over over time, would end her, would it end or begin with her with this magic mirror? And there would be these swirly graphics. And then she would say hi or bye, depending on, on the timing of this, to different, imaginary kids watching the video. And of course, with a name like Hazel, was my name ever going to get called? No, never, never. So anyway, magic mirror. I see Pamela and Megan and Trish of Crafting Whimsy, BLEA 47, Cheryl, Joni, Melissa, Patrina, Kathy, Connie, Dolores, and I love this one, 3 times the farm. That kind of wittiness gets me every time. So, again, I don't know that I will be doing this regularly, but I will certainly do it whenever I can think of it. And again, without any intent of omitting anybody or whatever. This book is great. I'd be curious, how many of you in my viewing audience have ever milked a cow, either by hand or using a machine? Because I think there are a number of people out there. Okay, so how did this red tractor get in here? Maybe it's not a John Deere book. No, I'd say it is a John Deere book. Anyway, I believe that a lot of people, if they're not living on a farm right now, have certainly maybe grew up on a farm or have relatives that farmed, and the type of crop or animals that were being raised may differ depending where you are in the country or on the continent. But I think that most people have fond memories of farm life. That's where they learned to work, to appreciate farming in Canada. This was the late 40s, apparently. So yeah, cute little things like this that could be cut out and become either, depending on size, could become tags or tuck spots. Okay, it says artist Walter Haskell Hinton created many of the paintings that graced Deere and Company brochures, calendars, and the cover of the firm's famous magazine, The Furrow. I didn't know that The Furrow was the John Deere Company was behind The Furrow. Hinton was adept at evoking the best days on the farm, as shown here in the smiling face of this youth atop his family's tractor. The image appeared on the cover of one of Deere's many brochures for the famous Model A and B tractors. So there must have been, somewhere along the way, there must have been a name change, because Deere and Company, I don't think, is how they're known today. Okay, this is from 1999. Either that's a very big horse or those are very small kids that they managed to get 6 of them on the back of that horse. Anyway, this is a great book. I'll have to keep this with my farm journal stuff. Okay, this one is a coil-bound book. It's Amy Butler's In Stitches. Now, I'm positive that I have another one of her books, and it's all about retro, like 1950s dress patterns. Originally cost $34. So it is 9 1/4 by 8 1/4, and more than 25 simple and stylish sewing patterns. So in this case, we can see that it's going to be home decor type stuff. Now, the thing that sets this book apart, and it probably should be a Bolo book, is this pocket in front with these different patterns. Why did I throw that there? Now I can't pick it up with these new short nails. So pattern pieces in the front, and you can see that this would lend itself very nicely I'm thinking out loud. I still haven't cracked into my brand new old cinch, but 2 or 3 years ago, never been out of the box. So we know that if we're careful, we can remove these coils, and I believe they can be reused. So here's a very lovely sized spine that could be used. Here is a great big pocket that wouldn't need any, you know, modification, maybe just a little decoration. So I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. If a person just used, you know, forget the coils, forget the cinch, just use this cover for a new journal, signature pages could be sewn in right there, and those 2 sets of holes could easily be covered with fabric or whatever. Anyway, let's get on with this book. So, oh, look at these cute little tabby type things. Okay, so the pages have a wee bit of shine to them, but not much. So you can see that there are, okay, so that's, in this case, we're talking about a clutch handbag. So these kinds of pages with the, you know, directions, dimensions, whatever. Drawstring bag. So there are cool images like so, where a model is wearing the, or displaying the project. Here is a, okay, what are they calling this? Fashion checkbook clutch. Okay, and for you young'uns in the crowd, a checkbook was a little paper document. And that's how people paid before Apple Pay and Apple Wallets and so on and so on. Document duvet, duvet, and photo file. Did I look at the year on this? Some cushions. Okay, 2006. Some office, you know, little structural things there. Decorative hanging towels. An organized oversized laundry bag. So again, these photos are great. Kimono style bathrobe. So I guess it's not just home decor. It's a variety of projects. Bedside organizer. Square pot holder. Well, that's kind of cool. An apron. I'd better move along here. Big dot pillow. So those are like with pom-poms on them. Kitty tunnel. I'll show you this last thing. Decorative patchwork throw. Cool. So again, Amy Butler. Okay, these are 3 books that will likely be listed in one of my selling platforms. And they are The Happy Hollisters by Jerry West. Cool end pages. First I thought somebody had done this, you know, doodling or whatever. But I don't think so, because the illustrations in this one are blue, just like those little bits of, so those are pretty darn cool. So there's that one. Oh, it should look up the date. Roman numerals, 50, no, okay, so 62. And this one has red. red illustrations. So these are cool, especially, you know, for the people who love, oh, and they're sewn in signature, so that's great too. Fairly large font. And again, just those little bits of color dotted in and around there. This one also is red. I didn't look to see if they were illustrated by Helen S. Hamilton. I didn't check to see if these two red ones are the same. No, I guess not. This was 1953, so this was quite a bit older. And of course, they're in pretty good shape. This one has more wear. It's got this little image of these kids on the cover. So, oh, I didn't tell you the size. 8.5 by 5.5. So these will no doubt be listed at some point. This one was kind of gross. It had, I don't know what stuck to it, but I did my best to scrape it off. It almost, I see something, there's something loose here. It would almost look like icing or something. But anyway, cute little book. Presto cooker, 6 3/4 by 4 5/8. So again, this is one of those things. So Presto, I guess, was this line of, what do you call them? Pressure cookers. Let's see if we can find a year. So again, even if a person has to discard the cover, it has a lot of, you know, redeeming qualities to it. Cooking chart, the little bits of red that are added throughout, the staining and aging that comes with a lot of these types of books. Black and white photography. And, oh, you can tell by the age of that stove that this is kind of old. Okay, I have no idea because, of course, they haven't put a date on it. Different parts. So I thought that was kind of cool. Like I said, this cover is probably toast. National Pressure Cooker Company, Canada. Wallaceburg, Ontario. Okay, onward. The Quilter's How-To Dictionary. And again, I think I've probably said this in the past. At one time when the district home economist was offering different sewing classes, I signed up. It's interesting that the colors I chose at that time were sort of a seafoam green kind of thing. And I bet you somewhere I still have that started thing. It was going to be a wall hanging because my kids were already, were both kids born by then? Maybe not just one. Anyway, it was going to be a scale small enough that I could actually start and finish it. Well, let me tell you, I didn't. I think I got all the front done, but I never did the backing. So if I found it today, that could easily make probably 2 journal covers. So this is cool in that because it's a dictionary. Of course, it's got the letters of the alphabet. It's got all these great illustrations, which, okay, this is 8.5 by 5 1/4. So these could that have to be erased. Well, let's pick another page. So this could easily be a belly band in a sewing journal or a quilting journal. These things could also be cut up and used on a masterboard, because you know how I love masterboards. Quilter's How-To The Quilter's How-To Dictionary, written by Marie Shire. Copyright 1991. So I thought that was a goodie. I don't know, of course, what this is because it's a foreign language, but I like picking up books like this. Number one, because I have, in this particular case, well, the pages are great, but it has all these schematics and these colored illustrations. So is this all about electricity, I wonder? Because I do, as much as I love the journal that I bought from Thelma, I do want to do a steampunkish type of journal. So would this not be great? And I'm wondering if this might be Spanish. Los Rosquitos. Yeah, I would think Spanish. Cerveza. Hola. At one point I started taking Spanish lessons because I thought that was kind of maybe one of the easier languages to learn. Look at those gears. Anyway, lots and lots of images in here just for the picking. And it's kind of oxymoronic to have something so engineering technical like, and it's illustrated with pink and red and blue. Anyway, let's see if I can find a date. Impreso en la UR. Okay, so it's interesting. In Ukrainian or Russian, it's 1975. Then in Espanol, it was 81. So, Espanol. Cool. Now this, I will just, well, I'll probably take it apart. It was the original price in Canada was $11. It says Believe, Hope, and Imagine. It's got the ribbon bookmark, and it is just beautiful pages for journaling. And with quotes, you see things and you say why, but I dream things that never were and say why not. George Bernard Shaw. I think that could be, oh, so is it, oh, it's the same quote over and over and over and over again. But isn't that a good one? Don't we as journal makers do that all the time? We look at something and say, well, why can't I turn that thrifted thing into a book cover or a journal topper? Or, you look at a box of cornflakes and you think, oh, well, I see a journal cover in that. So, yeah, that we should get those. Well, I would never have a tattoo, let's just say that. But that could be a tattoo. Why not? So, oh, and this is really nice too. Antioche Publishing. Okay, so more than likely I will, it's all glued. I would just rip these out and use them. It would work in a floral journal. It would work in a sort of a grungy one because of the way it has a distressed look to it. Okay, friends, an address book. Again, we know that address books have pretty well gone the way of dinosaurs. 9 by 7 1/4, because everyone has a contact list on their phones. This one says illustrated by Donna Green. And, here's those cut work images that could be, fussy cut around or used as is. Cute little illustrations. Line. Okay, so sewn in. Oh, that's cool. Cool. The signatures are sewn in. Let me just find, yes. So what I do in a case like this is I snip those threads carefully. Now, if you have trouble what you can do is use your stitch ripper to get under there. Now, sometimes the point there can pierce that page. So you have to either kind of hyperextend the book this way so you miss it, or just be very careful because you don't want to poke a whole bunch of holes. But of course, cut all those threads, remove the signatures, and you have nothing but images to fussy cut, pages to, well, I guess those note pages. Did I not see note? Oh yeah, this was at the back of the book. Full page, lovely images that you can use as is. And of course you'll have a signature page. What did I say? So you could easily trim this one down to the edge of the image and have it wide. Oh no, you can't very well cut on this side because you'd lose the signature part, but you could certainly trim it on the side or even trim it a little closer, you know, to use in as journal pages. And of course, like I said, a lot of smaller ones to either use on snippets or fussy cut and quotes as well. So these kind of books are usually a really good bet to pick up. And they tend to have sort of vintagey, Victorian sewing, gardening, floral themes to them. And of course, quite often, cute little kids as well. So it depends what you like. And this is $19.95. And you'll notice that, you know, we've probably all bought these kinds of books or received these kinds of books and never wrote a thing in them. Or quite often, if you thrift them, you'll find that somebody, you know, wrote on the first page and never touched it again. So, okay, let's keep going. These others are bigger. Hopefully most of it is fitting in the screen. This is Automobiles of the 50s by the Auto Editors of Consumer Guide. Oh, didn't realize I had to dust my books before I show them to you. 11 by 9 1/4. Oh, this book is falling apart. I think I drew that to the attention of the cashier. I think she might have given me a little price break because of that. Not very much, I just might add. 1993. So we know that the 50s was sort of a classic era. Now, pages are glossy. Classic era, well, maybe not whatever this is. A Willys, never heard of it, or a Studebaker. But certainly, you know, Oldsmobiles. And although I do have to say that when I was a teenager, somebody in our crowd, no, he was an older boy, he drove a Studebaker, and there might have been some shenanigans in that car. Ramblers, ooh, that's not very attractive. But, you know, sort of the Pontiacs and the Oldsmobiles were the real trendsetters. Packard, ooh. Oldsmobiles. I think we've all seen those kinds of cars. So, I don't know, will I eventually do a car journal? I know I definitely have an antique one that I could easily digitize, a DeSoto. You know, I think it tells you something that some of these brands still exist, you know, 70 some years later, and others have gone the way of the dodo bird. DeSoto. I don't think there are any DeSotos still on the road, are there? Throw that on the floor. Okay, so I have about 4 to show you, and we'll call it a day for this one. This is a big goose. This is a big book, 11 1/4 by, and it's called Mama Goose, Rhymes and Poems for the Little Ones, a collection by Adeline Weil. Someone did an inscription here with a gold pen on 2010 to Dear Miss Olivia. Some wonderful rhymes to sing, dance, and even some days skip to my loo to. From your G.A. Maddie, much hearts and kisses. I don't know. Is that not beautiful? I hope you can see most of the page. Okay, let's find a date. 2003, 2007. Now, do we have an illustrator or... Now, this woman, these women, they're just the editors here. So I would think that's why a lot of these images look so vintage. All they did was pull this together. But look at, because it doesn't say anywhere that it is illustrated by, yeah, no, these are vintage. And we can tell by the look of them. Look at the size of that font. Let me just give you an example. That L in Little Boy Blue is 3/4 of an inch tall. So that tells you how gigantic the font is. Now, because these are bigger books typically mean bigger illustrations. Isn't that cool with those kids reading under a tree? Art index. Oh, so Jessie Wilcox Smith. Are there other names I recognize? Maybe not. Okay, Jessie Wilcox Smith, 78 and 79. Definitely have some of her images. And look at the border here with all these little kids. Oh, some scoundrel bent that corner. Must have been a favorite. Anyway, what I was going to say is, I have a digital kit with, looks like the same illustrator, that is all in an oval format, and it's got music and beautiful illustrations. Yeah, I have that in my probably Etsy shop. Anyway, what I was going to say, I keep interrupting myself, is with the book this size, what did I say? It was over 11 inches, isn't it? No, it is 11 inches. With some creative folding, this can become a page in a tall skinny. So this is obviously too wide, so you'd fold that under with either a fold or a pocket on this side. And of course, you've got another beautiful image on the other side. That, I might have to commit to doing that with this book, because I'm sure a lot of people would like to get their hands on this, because a lot of people in the circles that I hang out with love kids' imagery. Again, picture this. Look at those chickens. Carol. And the other Carol who loves horses, Lily Rose Blue. And of course, Sandy, who loves every animal under the sun. Yes, I definitely have. If you are enthralled with kits like this, do check out that kit, because there are some beautiful images, and they're bigger than this. They would be a page spread. Yes, that one as well. I recognize these now. Anyway, definitely, I'd say this definitely counts as a bolo book, so be on the lookout for. That's a hashtag by Angela. Mama Goose, rhymes and poems for the little ones. So you can see how a person's work never ends. Every time you see something beautiful, you think, why not? And then feel like, I've got to do that project. And so it goes. Enough work till the end of time. Okay, this one is more landscapey in format. 10.5 by 12. It's got this glittery stuff on it, but it doesn't come off. It's called Fairies, A Magical Guide to the Enchanted Realm. And considering that I've never done a fairy journal, I sure have a lot of fairy books. 2007, and this is a Carlton book. Illustrations by Patricia Moffat, Carlton Publishing Group. So I'm thinking that means the Carlton Card Company. Okay, so this is interactive. Oh, that got creased. So look at this. Open up this flower. Of course, there's some unintended creases there. So you've got this little image here. Oh, this looks like it should be pulled. Please don't tell your grown-ups that we really exist. Well, that's cute. So a little pocket there. A little teeny tiny book here, just sewn, you know, on a sewing machine with a really large stitch. Okay, let's, oh, I guess that has to bend there. And then that one, I guess that's almost supposed to act as a sticker. Now, you can see that this, so if I wanted to take this apart, it's absolutely wonderful because with the pages being as oversized as they are, a person could trim if necessary, but you're not wrecking the other side because it has its own white backing. I'll just see if I can show you a couple more of the interactive items. So I can feel that there are little doors to open. What is this here? You know, just so darn cute. I have to keep moving this like this. So here's another little sticker holding this closed. And isn't this really what many of us do with interactive items in our books? And of course, if this was, you know, closed at the bottom, it would also be an oversized pocket. Here, fairy food. Oh, cool. So some recipes, because, you know, I guess fairies get hungry too. Anyway, I'm not going to show you every single thing. Let's just see. Oh, I didn't even look at the back. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. And this is all, and I have to say, it's not shedding at all. There's not glitter everywhere. Cool. Fairy wings. Can I? Yes, I can. So just more and more and more. Tinkerbell and Neverland. Oh, these are famous fairies. Look at this toadstool. I have to spend some time looking at this because obviously I didn't in the store. Okie dokie. Now look at this one. This is a fabric cover, It says Mother Goose, a collection. Oh, see, my ruler isn't quite long enough. So it's about 12 and a quarter by, well, 12, let's say. So a classic collection of children's nursery rhymes. Fabric cover. This is gorgeous. This little, I don't know, can you see that little see-through? Well, that's a little face there. And this is the back. No, no, my melodies will never die while nurses sing or babies cry. So I would say, well, maybe we'll be able, it's hitting some cellophane over here. Here is, this opens up. Maybe we'll see that this was done by the same publisher. Here's a pocket, My Dear Little Blossoms. I would say same thing, because again, my hand goes in through the bottom. These little doors that open, Humpty Dumpty, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and Hushabye. Those sheep, Sandy, and look, is that you? Is that really you with your crook? Here's a little pocket, here's a little something tucked in there. These are so beautiful. And again, the paper is really heavy. Like I would say it's a cardstock weight easily. So anything that a person might choose to do with these, and some of these don't even look as though they've been bent open before. You know, they won't need backing or anything. Oh, wait, what's going on here? Is this a blackbird pie? I hope it's not all tangled up because I don't want to wreck it. If some little kid had this all this time and didn't wreck it, I don't want to be the guilty party that does. Well, let's just pretend that I did open it fully. Again, this doesn't look like it's ever been opened up before. But, you know, a person could obviously fussy cut all those birds. Look at this guy. How's he attached? Oh, just with a little hinge. Anyway, very cool. More of these little doors that open. Oh, this is different. Let me move it over here so you can see. Oh, again, it hasn't even been, these perforations haven't even been separated. My goodness, how does this end up like this? Unbelievable. I bought it and I don't believe it. And here, okay, let's pull, what do we have here? Oh, just a minute. This sticker is a small, small part. Please remove before use. Yeah, maybe if I would read that and do it instead of yanking on there. Can I get the sticker off though? Oh, see, I almost ruined. These are fabric. Or, well, felt? Fabric on felt? Unreal. Unreal. And that is the back cover. Okay, let's see. Frederick Richardson is the creator of these beloved illustrations, capturing the whimsy and wit of Mother Goose Richardson illustrated several books for children, including Little Peachling and Old Tales Retold. He was a painter and drawing instructor at the Art Institute of Chicago. Some of his original artwork can be viewed at the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art in Kansas City, Missouri. But, oh, here are the particulars. So, copyright 2008. So it's not the same as the other one, which was Carlton Publishing. This one is Dalmatian Publishing Group. Published by Intervisual Books. Original price in Canada, but okay, that's 2008, so that's quite a while ago, was $25. I cannot believe this. Cannot believe my good fortune. Okay, it's one of those things, being in the right place at the right time. Hi, Ruth. Ruth is a woman I met in Manitoba when I was there in March. And we did a day of thrifting together with Thelma and Kim and had a lot of fun and laughed ourselves silly. And she's become a regular and loyal supporter of my channel, always comments, and is just a sweet, sweet soul. Anyway, in one of the videos, I think it was a thrifting video, she says, geez, you know, how do you keep scoring these things? And I said, well, do you remember when we were together that day and Kim said, okay, people, you know, like, what are your intentions for today? And, you know, we kind of all said what we hope to find. And I honestly, I was just kind of mesmerized. I'd never been to any of these stores before. And I was just mesmerized by the whole process. I was having so much fun with these women. And, you know, a bit of culture shock, maybe a little deer in the headlights look. Oh, and also amazed at the instant rapport that I had with all these people. Anyway, so I reminded Ruth of that in my response to her comments, saying, remember how... And you know, Kim didn't invent the concept, of course, because we know that in personal development circles, people are talking about that all the time, that we let the universe know what it is that we want, and somehow, through the miracle of the universe, our wishes quite often are made manifest. And so that, you know, same thing with doing vision boards or goal setting or, you know, different ways to skin a cat, basically. There are many ways to get to the same place. So, yeah, so I guess keep that in mind as you're watching anybody's haul video and thinking, oh, I wish I could find. Because if you put that request out to the universe, you know, just in your heart or in a prayer or whatever method you use, or on paper or a vision board, there is a very good chance that it will happen for you. Now, this book is big. I have to say that I never really liked Anne Getty's. You know, I thought those little babies and flowers were kind of creepy, to be honest. 13, and it was such a rage at one point. You couldn't, you know, turn around without bumping into some Anne Getty stuff. 11 1/4. This was an incredible price. I didn't realize till later that there's actually, I don't know if you can see, there's actually a little baby there. It's not just a pregnant tummy. But I have to say the normal images in here are beautiful. And especially since I've had the privilege of doing a couple of baby books, I now seem to keep finding baby stuff. And again, you know what I'm going to say about all this white space. This book, I think it looks like it might have, yeah, I think it has sewn-in signatures. We'll watch for the threads. When you take it apart, of course, there would be nothing, like, this is way too big to use as is, so I would naturally cut out the image. There's even nothing on the back to other than, yeah, and it would, okay, this word remarkable is totally enclosed in the space of that image. So, of course, I'm not going to throw all that other paper away. So let's maybe flip from the back. Let's see. Oh, that's so hard for me to see. 2002. What else do we need to know here? Yeah, 2002. So I guess that little kid that was under her dress is now out. Why do you photograph babies? I'm not generally one who enjoys talking about herself, but my inspiration is so private and important because my inspiration is so private and important to me for many reasons. But essentially, I feel the babies need a voice, and their importance in this world is so often undervalued. Photography is my voice, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, an image like that could easily be incorporated into a baby book or into, you know, like a mother's book. Chubby little arms and legs. Oh my goodness. So you can see why I grabbed this book. You know, some of it is very esoteric and artsy, but it's not as creepy as those other images. So I thought that I would get enough out of this to warrant the purchase. Do you remember how, if you were a mother, do you remember how pliable your baby was? How they could just bend and bend and bend in any way, shape, or form. If only we had that flexibility today, hey? Anyway, I'm going to stop there, I think, because this has probably gone on long enough. Anyway, if you are a book lover and if you're new to my channel, I would suggest that you go back and look at the playlist that I created, well, a long time ago, years ago, called What's in My Bookcase. Because at that point, and that was before I was looking for books like the ones I've shown today, those are just the books that I owned because I've loved and purchased books for as long as I can remember. And of course, I was buying books that interested me, never with the intention of cutting them up or, you know, defacing them in any way. So that was a popular series, and I think it would give you, number one, some books to add to your wish list when the next time you're talking to the universe, and also to maybe get a better feel for who I am, if that interests you at all. And yeah, you just see a lot of books, I did those videos over several months, so yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. As always, I appreciate, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and of course, write some comments. Tell me what you're thinking. Ask me what's on your mind. And I think that way it becomes, in fact, a relationship as opposed to, you know what, let me just check the time here. Oh, we're approaching an hour, so I better stop. I was going to show you another bundle, but we'll save that for next time. Anyway, thanks, guys. We shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.